Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. You know what you got to do. Put a one in the chat. If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. Okay, I see it. I see you. Okay. Okay. All right. So happy Saturday, first and foremost. Happy Saturday. I know you guys could be doing other things, but you decided to be with me tonight. Uh, well, it's not going to be me alone. I'm bringing two of my favorite people on tonight to assist me in the show. But as the title says, Cardi B is out for blood. She's not playing. She is stepping on the gas. And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the update in the saga involving Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, along with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, and the receipts have been dropped. We thought that there wasn't going to be some receipts. We thought this was a frivolous filing, but there have been receipts dropped. And we're going to discuss that tonight with our two co-hosts, and that will be journalist Crystal Jordan, as well as criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, and law professor Akeisha Al-Shabazz. We're going to bring everyone up on the stage right now. First of all, I want to bring in my co-host Crystal Jordan. Sometimes she cheats on me. She's on another platform. We'll talk about that later. But ladies and gentlemen, Crystal Jordan's here. Crystal.
Good evening.
Yeah, how's Scorpio Mo, by the way?
Oh wow! Don't do that. I'm not going to do that. Good evening.
Good evening, Crystal. Shots fired. Shots fired at Scorpio Mo.
Oh, whoa!
Ouch! Ooh! Sorry, Scorpio. No, listen. But along with Crystal, if I fire any shots, this will be the woman to defend me, and that is attorney Akeisha Al-Shabazz. Good evening, attorney.
What's good? What's good? How y'all doing? How you doing, Crystal?
Man, I chose violence tonight. I chose violence.
It was violence out the gate. You just, okay.
I'm not playing.
All right. You like it? I love it.
Listen. So I thought that this story would. Well, I didn't really think it was going to go to bed, but obviously, Cardi B is not playing. Cardi B, along with her team, is looking up every rock there is to be looked under, and she's made it known. She's made it known that she wants Tasha K and her husband to pay. It could be by way of $3.5 million, or it could be by way of some bracelets. She don't care, because if you can't get it one way, you gotta get it the other way. Get it out the hide. I don't know, but first and foremost, Crystal, I don't. You weren't with us the other night when we talked about the developments in the case with the newest filing and the motion to compel. They've been trying to serve the accountant, Patricia Hayes, I believe. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe her name's Patricia Hayes, and we broke the story. We were the ones that broke the story. We broke the story, and it's now part of mainstream media. If it's been picked up all over the nation and abroad. Mm-hmm. And this is serious. And I talked to another attorney yesterday, and they said that she could, if these allegations are proven, she can face up to 5 years. But counsel, you know better than this. I don't want to talk about the law part of it, because this is where you are. This is what you're here for.
So you was cheating on me yesterday? What?
No.
Oh. I ain't got no sound effects over here.
Well, I don't know.
I'm gonna give me some sound effects.
So
turn my comments on so I can say hi to the people. Did you say hi to the people?
I said hi to everybody. Okay. I did that. Yeah. The people have been greeted well. But Attorney Shabazz, these are some serious allegations. We can't make any light of it. Some serious allegations. Lying in federal bankruptcy proceeding is a crime. And I mean, just with something like this is just a matter of time, and this is something that we haven't been exempt for, as people of color haven't been exempt for being prosecuted for bankruptcy fraud and or tax evasion and
or lying to the feds, and that's not something that is unique to people of color, Martha Stewart.
right.
Okay.
Right.
All
Right.
right, little Kim.
Oh my goodness.
But
the Chrisleys. The Chrisleys.
Oh my
right.
gosh.
So it's just, this is something that we've seen, and she's well aware. She's well aware. So there's not even any plausible deniability that there's some sort of ignorance of the law that could somehow help her, because that is not a defense. And so she willfully, and that's the problem, willfully trying to deceive federal bankruptcy court, federal. I mean, what's your angle here? I mean, these things, you have someone who is on you. It's not like Cardi B is like, you know what? I'm satisfied. I made my point. I got my judgment. And that's that. I know that there isn't $4 million to be had, so I'm not even going to pursue it. That's not where we are.
Yeah,
but at this point, that's not even the point. At the point that you lied to the IRS, it's no longer just between you and Cardi B. And I remember when we listened in on the court proceeding, and the representative from the Internal Revenue Service was there asking questions. And unfortunately,
we did listen to that, didn't we?
We did. And I remember feeling uncomfortable just being on the line listening, because you hear IRS and we understand how.
I did not hear that, but that's wow.
I heard it. And
wow.
I think the problem, at least from my perspective, is that this case is being handled, because it's a big part of pop culture right now, right?
Yes.
Cardi B is such a big star. It's being handled by Tasha K's team as if it's entertainment, right? She makes little jokes about it. She's, she, even the way she handled herself in court, I don't know where that stuff is. It's all very much like it's not being taken seriously. And then I'm going to tweet some stuff out. And she's even, well, I got money to pay, and it's all a joke. And even the way she was threatening with making the comments on with Kevin Hart's situation, where we get our money. It's all taken very much like entertainment and reality type TV show, but this is the federal government and it's the IRS. And so I have a feeling that what has gotten her a lot of views, what makes her constantly trend, is probably going to be her downfall, because she has approached,
which makes the bigger target.
Right.
But that's all she is. There's nothing else to her substantively.
Right.
That's her bread and butter.
That is.
It's not like she has some separate stream or a separate outlet or a radio show somewhere. This is all she has.
Right. And people think that because she's putting on this persona on her platform, that this is not bothering. It has to be bothering her. It would have to be bothering anyone that is caught red-handed with on video. Like, you really just.
Dennis, I asked you, I said, do you think there's a mental issue at this point? Because the way when something happens, she leans in and makes a joke about it and continues to go harder. And even listening to that court proceeding, like, they were asking her about handbags, because she was saying she didn't
right.
I remember that.
I was like, is she okay? Because the way she's responding is like, this is all a big joke. And it has, you're right, Ike, it has worked for her as far as getting more followers. It's definitely entertaining to her, her fan base, but it definitely could have. I feel like we're all watching a really bad train moving really too quickly that's going to combust, because the IRS and the federal government.
She talked about the used Louis Vuitton bag, but she didn't talk about the $30,000 that she sent to the trust. She talked about that, the used bag. I can't even find the bag. Well, Cardi C could find the money. So But I get it. She pushing the envelope. She's pushing the envelope. Al Capone tried to push the envelope too. What happened to Al Capone? They couldn't get him for anything but tax evasion.
That's I mean, look, so many people have gone down with tax evasion, and it's interesting because even the way she's handled, I think I told you the last time we talked about this, it's almost like you got to respect the fact that she's willing to go down with the ship. When she was given opportunity to apologize, and where we didn't even have to be here, she opted not to. She doubled down and she chose to move forward. She didn't want to take the information down. She continued to lie. It was proven that it was a lie, as opposed to saying, you know what, I was wrong, and being apologetic. She went harder, and we see that continuing all the way up through now. So at that court proceeding, which was about a month ago, she had a certain amount of time to come up with, some of the things that she claimed she couldn't find, and some numbers. And you see, she played that off. She continued to.
Yeah, when they had the 2004 hearing of documents. They said it was so much that they asked for. They asked for things I've never even seen before. I'm like, what is binary codes? And
yeah,
I mean, contracts that, and I want to say, I'll just say this. I received a call a couple of days ago from someone that had an issue with her. We're still investigating the story, so we're not going to talk too much about it, but it's definitely indicative of how they've been handling their business. I could just say that, and it could be very problematic for her. I don't know. I think she and her husband. We keep saying Tasha K, but her husband as well. He was.
He's a victim. I feel like he's a victim in all of this.
I don't feel like
I don't know. I don't know. This is beyond, because they turned on each other in court initially. Like,
oh yeah.
Did they?
I mean, he gets on the stand. He gets on the stand first, right there, and he says, "I don't know what she's talking about." When the lawyer, Sarah Motz, the attorney, one of Cardi's attorneys, asked him about companies established, companies that you own, and he said one company. Then I think his wife said multiple companies. He basically said, "No, I don't know what she's talking about." So, at what point did your attorneys get you ready for this kind of line of questioning?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because when you talk about how a witness is responding to questions, that has to be a product of the prep you had with your attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
They could not have sent you in there without first preparing you for those questions and for how you should be answering those questions.
Well, to Tasha's defense, the judge did say to her lawyer that what you're doing is like first year law school, and he basically berated her in front of the jurors. I'm like, wait a minute.
What are you talking about when she was testifying in the bankruptcy proceeding when the IRS person was there?
But I do want to say this, because a publicist,
Wesley Snipes, right,
are always brought into question when talent is doing something that's, speaking out of turn. Not to dovetail off too much, but there was a case recently with British Williams, who was a VH1 reality star, went on and did an entire interview before she was supposed to turn herself in for a prison sentence. As a result of that, her ex-fiance is now being indicted on charges as well. It is never a sound. But it's ridiculous, because a conscientious lawyer, a conscientious public relations practitioner can do everything that they want to do, but a lot of times these clients are not listening, and they have decided they go rogue. They decide to do what they want to do. I can't imagine any PR representative, any publicist giving Tasha K this type of advice. I can't imagine any lawyer. I definitely know in the case of the British, doing an interview before you are supposed to turn yourself in.
I can imagine a lawyer giving some really bad advice on how to talk to the feds. Oh yeah. Oh, go play dumb, to say you don't remember. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was worse though.
Well, hold on. Have you ever given a client
Well,
back?
I wouldn't, but I've had people tell me what other lawyers have told them, and I'm like,
Oh,
ain't no
wow.
way. Yet, really, and more, and it's not just an isolated event. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So there are droves of lawyers giving bad advice.
There probably are PR practitioners. They're just not conscientious. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say. You said conscientious. That's the operative word.
Yeah, if your publicist is excited about you turning up with them, then chances are they don't really understand strategy or theory or crisis communications. But point is, it's just so many people now, I think, are not taking seriously because there is this court of public opinion. And a lot of people feel like as long as they're doing well in the court of public opinion, they don't have to worry about
that matters. Yeah. Well, there very well may be some very real consequences to this, and I think it's one of those wait and see approaches.
So would you recommend she lawyer up criminally right now?
Yes, absolutely.
Yesterday,
right? Absolutely, because she's exposed simply because she's exposed herself to criminal liability. Right now, I've said this ad nauseum. Prosecutors have the discretion in who they want to charge, when they want to charge. So they may not be interested in Tasha K. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's a wait and see approach.
Well, considering the people that have already got convicted of these similar crimes and are doing time, I think there will be a lot of people feeling like, hey, Mr. Prosecutor or Miss Prosecutor, well, you got us in here for 12 years. Well, why is she skating? Why is she skating?
Yeah, right. What about when that happens all the time?
That was one of the things that British brought up in her conversation with I do not know who her attorney was in her conversation with Carlos King. Well, other people have gotten, have done. She acknowledged, I think it was between 15 and 19 counts of fraud, and said, well, other people have gotten, lesser sentences. She got 4 years, and she mentioned the Chrisleys. I mean, just without having any legal references. Well, they didn't get as much time, and they had more money, and it was just. But I think that's where our culture is right now. People are taking things based on what they see on social media and not reading the fine print. So if you look at the headline and not the fine print, you don't realize that, okay, at some point the case is no longer about you and Cardi B. It does, and if you lie to the IRS, that could have,
So, Ike, people look at cases and they'll look at their case and say, hey, well, they'll look at someone else's case and why aren't they giving me the same thing? I did the same thing as the other person. Why are they giving me more time? What do you say to people who think that they should get the equal treatment that one, like say if you're in New York and you catch a case and someone's in Los Angeles catch a similar case, but they get different times, different sentences. It's no way to balance that scale, is it?
No, that's the reality of our criminal justice system. We have 51 jurisdictions, right? And every jurisdiction has their own set of laws, their own penal code, right? And so what happens in one jurisdiction might not even be a crime in another jurisdiction, right? So we don't have a uniformity of laws like that, right? And so that's just not a thing. We don't live in a world as we think it should be. We live in the world as it is. And as it is, it's a crime, say in New York, to possess a firearm, the minimum is 3.5 in New York to possess a loading operable firearm. That's for anyone. If you've never had a prior conviction ever, 3.5 years in state prison. Meanwhile, you go down to one of these open carry states and possession of a firearm is like a slap on the wrist. Risk on slap on the wrist. So it depends on the culture of the places, gun culture down in Georgia and Virginia, and so they're used to having firearms. Come up to New York and New Jersey and you see the restrictions are tenfold. So
here is $1,000. Punishable by a fine of $1,000.
So
and
thank
or
you.
up to 12 months in jail. But possession of a weapon is punishable by $1,000.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Not New York or California for that matter.
You can't pay your way out of that. Not here in New York.
It seems like the Democratic states have the more stricter gun laws for some reason. Chicago, New York, California.
The Republicans will say because that's where all the crime is. All the crime is. Right? That would be their response, would it not be? Right? Well, that's where we see urban centers and high crime populations, and so consistent with that, they always think that the response to crime is stricter laws, longer prison sentence. And for how many years have we been doing that? And have we seen the crime rate drop precipitously as the population of prisons grow? No, there's no correlation there. But we continue to imprison people, and we continue to sell that bullshit that this is the response to crime. It's sad. It's mind numbing.
Even with this Supreme Court ruling that took place a year ago in relation
to which one?
the gun.
Yes.
Yeah, the gun. I think it was more applicable to states like New York, where you can carry in the state but not in the city limits.
So the case that you're talking about, I forget the name of it right now, and that's a shame because it was a New York case, and I just can't remember it right now. In any event, the New York Pistol Rifle Association case brought a case, and it went up to the Supreme Court challenging the restrictions that New York has on our ability to obtain a license and a carry license. And it used to be that you had to demonstrate that you were a law-abiding citizen and all of these other qualifications. And the court basically said it's a right. It's a constitutional right. You don't need to qualify to exercise your constitutional right, just like you don't need to qualify to exercise your First Amendment right, right? You don't need to qualify to do those things. And so some of these restrictions were removed, right?
And you had to wait, even an officer of the court, you had to wait a while to get your,
yes.
What, 2 years?
I waited about a year and a half.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's the wait time. About a year and a half. You got to go through a background check, fingerprint check. You got to have 5 references from your town.
Crazy.
Yeah, 5 references from your town. They can't be references that live outside of your town. What else did I have to give? A DMV abstract, because they need to see your driving record.
What does that have to do carrying the gun? Your driver's record.
All of those things speak to your credibility and your moral turpitude.
And this was in New York? This is New York State?
New York. This is New York. I live in Nassau County. Yeah, this is New York. In New York City.
You can get a gun in an hour.
Yeah.
You follow the
whole process. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And we used to have
and you gotta wait. Yeah.
You can go to the court to pay your little $70 and get your permit.
Yeah.
But now you don't need that anymore. You don't have to,
you don't have to have anything at this point.
You don't have to do that. Even here now, even though that I have a license, when I go to the gun store to buy a gun, I could find a gun I like. I buy the gun. I can't take it out the store yet. I got to then go back. I got to go back to the police licensing unit and give them my pistol ID so that they can add the new gun.
What?
I got to get them the purchase receipt for the new gun so they can add that to my pistol license. Then I take that back to the store, and that's when I can pick up the gun. Yeah, this.
By that time, someone robbed you and
come on, you're right, and that's what the Supreme Court said. You have a right to self-defense,
right? But
now, not a year from now, not a year and a half from now.
I do think it should be somewhere in between there. I was at an event with Takeoff's mother, and they were asking like what can be done to stop the gun violence, because Atlanta the crime rate here has skyrocketed, as most places after COVID shutdown. But I do think that you should not be able to have a gun without any type of, because, a lot of these, we're having a murder, just 3 or 4 murders a day, and that's just what's captured on television. So I do think that the accessibility is too much, and it's probably people coming here to get a gun and going back to other cities.
Yeah. The
You
problem, though, I think so. The problem I have, and I
Someone
think
has
this
a
is
dog in the
really.
background.
Oh yeah, that's me. My kids ordered food, so the delivery man is here, and so the dogs are barking.
Shout out to the 10,000 people who are watching right now.
Sorry.
It's not my dog. It's not Crystal. Crystal has a bunch of
I have
dogs.
2 dogs. Yes, I have 2 dogs.
Not the shade. Crystal got a bunch of dogs.
Feed those dogs.
Appreciate you. What I want to say about it's not necessarily a gun issue. It's a gun manufacturing issue, right? Because trying to change the gun laws is only going to affect the legal gun owners.
Facts.
We're not the ones out there shooting people.
Facts.
Right.
So
right.
Our focus is wrong, which is why I keep saying there's no correlation there. There's no correlation. Y'all want to keep the legal gun owners more restricted, right? But we're not the ones that are in the streets causing violence. It is the illegal handguns. Now, tell me why manufacturers can't trace their illegal handguns or can't find a way to trace their guns. Now, I'm not talking about ghost guns and guns that obviously that's not, but I'm talking about the manufacturing and the distribution. You can't trace those guns. You don't know where they are. Come on, there's got to be a better way. We can't put a little microchip in them. We can chip fucking dogs. We can't chip the guns.
Talking about guns, I want to shift this over to Fani Willis. There was a shot that the New York Post ran of Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade leaving his South Georgia office, carrying his shoulder bag on the right, and he had his gun in his hand. He didn't have it like pointing. He was just carrying it, and someone took the shot of it of him carrying his gun, and they posted on the cover of the New York Post. I mean, the guy has a legal right to have a gun. So they saw the gun in his hand, and then what they did was, under the caption of the photo, he said, "Well, we're not insinuating that he had a legal gun, but the fact that you had to say you were trying to make people think that he was doing something wrong by carrying his gun. This guy is prosecuting Trump and all others, and they made it like, okay, the black man carrying the gun, and they took the picture of it. No one else ran that photo but the Post." Like no other publication.
The Post is a rag, and they're good for that. It's just a little tabloid newspaper, and they're good for that. And the media is so willing to demonize Black people who carry guns legally. Mm-hmm. That's been the case since the Black Panthers open carried years ago, right? That image was too much for America. They start to question their own constitutional 2A beliefs. Wait a minute now. We like guns, but we don't like them that much.
People with color don't like them.
Right. We was talking about just us.
Right.
Yeah.
That part.
So that's not uncommon. We've seen that movie before.
Yeah, we've seen it. But I just think that even with this case involving District Attorney Fani Willis, and we're going to talk about that. That they're throwing. It seems like they're throwing everything at this prosecutor. Like he's carrying. I mean, you don't have to assume that she's carrying a gun. He's carrying a gun. The judge is carrying a gun.
I would hope he has a gun.
Yeah.
Why does he have it in his hand?
Well, he probably just he's on the radio. He's on the radio. You're a
gun owner. I'm a gun owner. When we're traveling about, even when we have concealed carry, we don't have a gun in your hand. You don't have it in your hand.
Maybe I would say
he was picking. It appeared that he was rushing out, took the gun out, I just can't explain why he had it in his hand outside.
Right, exactly.
Not,
right.
not pointed downward. It was like,
don't know that if they have been having, because we know that Fani had been receiving death threats. We don't know if he's receiving those as well.
I'm sure he was.
So I'm just saying, and especially considering what happened at the state capitol a few years ago, I would assume any of those threats, I would take them seriously. That, anything coming, you just never know. I don't understand why it was out, but I will say this: a lot of times, my husband will go someplace, and he is he's a military vet. He's a very proud gun carrier, licensed gun
sniper,
carrier.
all that. He's all that. He is.
Right. But he will have his gun. Like, I went to Lennox Mall today, and he was like, "You should have your gun." And I'm like, because and at some time it may, unfortunately, Ike, it may be out. It may, when he's going to pump gas, it may be in his hand as he's getting out the car. So I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give him that, because
I understand. My ex-fiance is a retired detective and carries, and I get it. If I'm with him and I see it sticking out, I might adjust his jacket a little bit. But he's very, conscientious about those things. But I get that. I get it. Yeah. But we also have to understand that the perception of a Black man with a gun is super dangerous.
It is.
Right. And so walking around, even though it's legal for you, could be a deadly act.
Well, there's sloppiness all around.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sloppiness. That's just one more thing, because specifically when you walk out into public, we know that that's just something that you should be concerned with. But there's just a lot of things about this entire case that are it's just very surprisingly sloppy.
Yeah.
And that's just another one.
Talking about sloppy, let's talk about this. I guess these new receipts that we were hoping that, this lawyer just didn't file a frivolous motion to embarrass the prosecutor and the special prosecutor. But apparently the wife, through a court filing, included the bank statements of Nathan Wade. And in the bank statements, you see, I guess that the statements are all over the internet. Maybe I can just pull it up real quick.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's horrible.
It's so bad.
But I knew. I told Dennis when we talked about this the first time, I said that if they have put this out there, they're not just wagging the dog. They've got something. And we're seeing that. There it is.
Oh. Oh man, let's see. Let's zoom in here. Hold on.
Let me lean in on
lean in on. Oh my goodness. See, there you go. You got the
So where you spending money? This is Nathan J. Wade. Damn, that's rough.
Okay, so we see
it's too small. You gotta make this bigger.
Yeah,
I know, but you the only one who can see it.
No,
well,
you can see it, Crystal. I zoomed in. I could zoom. I could make zoom. I see the Royal Caribbean cruise.
Oh.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, the Royal Caribbean cruise.
I appreciate that.
You got the hold on, let's scroll down. You see right there, Fani, right there.
Vacation expense.
October 4th. Look at is that December 4th? October 4th, October 5th.
Yeah,
right there.
That's the Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, so apparently they flew to Miami to catch the boat.
Wait a minute now. Who bought an Audi? Somebody bought an Audi.
Well, hold on. Here, I'm gonna tell you something. The Post did this again.
That's a down payment right there. $6,000 at the Audi in Atlanta. That's a down payment, baby.
So the Post ran.
You went to Royal Caribbean. When we got to stop. Hold on now. That is a down payment.
Yeah. So the Post ran.
What you bought a car for? Well,
it's his car. The Post ran the article of his car as well, saying that's $100,000 Audi. And
well, when you're getting a $500,000,
more than that,
you're right. You're right.
I mean, you got to listen. This is a high profile case. You can't be showing up in court in a oopty,
Well, I will say this.
Women now want to finish listening to that. Couple tickets for the cruise. Oh, that was interesting.
I heard some information today. Oh wow. Holiday Inn. What is this at the Holiday Inn?
What did I say? Hold on.
Well, at least they didn't fly first class out of Atlanta. Those are not the first class tickets.
That's crazy.
They said they weren't able to see if they stayed in the hotel together, but
right.
Well, they were on a ship, so they have cabins.
Well, no, I understand that part, but they weren't. But when they stayed, there was a couple of, because there was a trip to California.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That would be on her credit card.
Ooh. Oh man.
So the hearing is on for Monday in the divorce case. There's a hearing, special hearing. The judge wants the parties to show up, and also we have petitioned the court to have the records unsealed, because this is sealing the records in the divorce case is like highly irregular. And why would their records need to be sealed versus why did they seal in the first place? And
so
I think
it's not really highly unregular. It's typically, divorce records contain a lot of financial information, your social security or your banking information.
I see that stuff all the time.
If you're a public figure, some of that stuff you may not want out there. So maybe he knew, because he was going to be involved in this Trump case, that he would be he would be deemed a public figure. Okay. So let me have this stuff sealed. Or he knew that he was engaged in a salacious relationship with the woman who had appointed him to a job for which he owes a fiduciary responsibility to the city and state of Atlanta, in which he is using some of those funds to then reward her by taking her on expensive trips.
Now, I want to say this first and foremost.
Just
the bank statements all over the internet. So I would hope that he's changing the bank accounts this point. Yeah, I hope he's changed the bank accounts, because I didn't put it out first.
I think those are like credit card statements. Are they credit card or is that bank? Because Capital One has a bank, and they also have credit card statement.
Yeah. Credit card statement, because a bank statement would be a lot.
That's credit card statement.
Yeah, so that's easy to change. Credit card statement is credit card number is easy to.
Yeah, I don't want him to see me in court next week, and and say, Mr. Byron, you did put my business out there, sir.
Let me ask you this, Ike, because this case has gone to a place that I don't think any of us thought it would be. I was having a conversation with some colleagues earlier today, and I was surprised that this came out. I was even more surprised at Fani's response. And we talked about that. But then, the allegations at this point are, there have been accusations that his wife had an affair. I don't see how any of that has anything to do with this, if she did or didn't. What I heard earlier today, there were people saying that the wife, the bank statements we know in a divorce case are very important, because it details how much child support and alimony a person does or doesn't get. And one of the young ladies was saying, he should have, she was saying his crime was not making sure that the wife was happy with what she was getting financially. Mm-hmm. I was like, that is not the crime here. It really has nothing to do with this and the fact of how you handle yourself in a business sense. But it feels like this is a distraction, because all types of conversation is surrounding this, including what the wife was doing, whose fault the divorce was. And that really doesn't have anything to do with the situation with him being appointed as special prosecutor. Can you kind of explain to us where the lines are drawn? Is that an issue? Is that a criminal issue to appoint someone as special prosecutor? Are you allowed to have dalliances with people that you work with? What is that? What are the legalities on that?
So, first of all, it is highly inappropriate for you to appoint someone that you are in a sexual romantic relationship with to a position like this, where it should have been a process, and it wasn't, right? It seems like it was a unilateral thing where she should have used some sort of commission, right? And so you circumvented the process, it seems, right, to appoint the person of your choice who you happen to have a sexual relationship with, who now has submitted what I saw and I will stand on are questionable invoices for the work that he claimed he did. I saw those invoices. I saw at least one or two of them were billed for 8 hours straight for one day. There was one that was billed for 24 hours one day. Nobody works like that. No attorney works for 24 hours nonstop. Right? And so you're being paid $600,000, $650,000, of which is public money that you are now turning around and using to benefit the person who appointed you. That's honestly.
Let me say this. Through my research.
Let me finish. In my opinion, that sounds a lot like honest services fraud. You don't get to play like you have a blind eye and a deaf ear to what exactly you're doing. You can't say, oh, I didn't know that you appointed him and that he was making money from, and then he used that same money to turn around and take you on all these expensive trips. What? Why didn't you pay for your own self then? Pay for your own trips. And even if we wanted to say, you know what, there was nothing wrong with the relationship, right? It's the commingling of the funds that's questionable. You should have paid for yourself, right? We could go there and stop there, but I think that the entire process and the manner in which that he was appointed is suspect, you know? And so, yeah, I think she's on the hook for a lot of potential criminality here.
Well, something else I thought about, two things.
Let me also address something. Some things that came up. Hold that thought then, because Crystal, you mentioned a couple of things about why they wanted to talk to Fani and what might be relevant and what might not be relevant in his divorce proceedings. I don't know what the grounds are. Why did who's suing who for divorce? Remember, a divorce is a lawsuit. There's a plaintiff and there's a defendant, and you sue on grounds, right? Adultery might be the ground. I don't know. So if adultery is the ground, maybe she's looking for evidence of the adultery. And so if I think that you are the person my husband is having an affair with, I think I need to have some questions with you. Let me bring you in here and see if you can help me establish the grounds that I'm trying to establish, right? Then the other part is the equitable distribution. We need to see exactly what all of his assets are. Okay. I need to see what the entire financial picture looks like so that we can determine what's equitable in our marriage in terms of the distribution. Who gets what? Who takes what property? Who takes what part of this bank account? How much money is over there? Who has this property? And then child support and possibly alimony if that's on the table for them. So I don't know what information Fani Willis has. I don't know how long this purported relationship has been going on for, right? So maybe that's a lot of the questions that this wife wants to ask Ms. Willis.
Hold on. Let me ask one more question.
The fact that her response to this was, I'm gonna come down and bring the forces of my office on your head, basically, or was some sort of a threat to prosecute the wife, is an egregious abuse of power and misuse of your office. Egregious.
I agree. I have a question. I mean, not my opinion matters because I'm not a legal person, but I think that is. I was shocked, and it sounds like a bitter lovers' quarrel at this point.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: how does one determine? Because a lot of times in a divorce case, one spouse will say, "I was already finished with the marriage." Another spouse will say, I was still working on the marriage. I wasn't ready to let go. There are not really clear lines. How does the court view that? Because I report on stars, celebrities that are very, very apt to just say, well, I had decided the marriage was over for me, so I started dating someone else. Right. How does the court see the dissolution of marriage? Does it start at the divorce? Does it start if they're no longer living in the same house? How does that work?
When you say dissolution, you're talking about when the court determines where we should divvy up the property, because the marriage is not over until the judge signs an order saying the marriage is over.
So when is adultery no longer an issue? If I am living in a different residence of my husband, can he still sue me for adultery and say she's having an affair? That's why I want a divorce. Even if we're not living in the same place.
In some states, if you have been living separate and apart for a year or more, you can file for divorce based on having lived apart, being separated, right? Mm-hmm. But typically, if you haven't been with someone for more than 6 months to a year, then you're going to be deemed separated,
right?
Your spouse could still bring suit against you if they find out that you're cheating or you started another relationship. Mm-hmm. Whether or not that's going to carry the day or they are going to be able to sustain that is probably unlikely. Okay. And they probably should use different grounds like irreconcilable differences or something where you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to bring any evidence. But the courts don't look at anything. Mm-hmm. They want to see evidence of the thing. So if you say, listen, we were still working on it, then you need to bring the receipts, right? Well, here's the text message that he sent me telling me he loved me and we could go to therapy and work on it. So I was lulled into a false sense of security, and therefore I depended on him to my detriment, right? These are contractual terms that I'm saying, right? Because a marriage is a contract. Let's be clear about that, which is why when there's a breach of that contract, we go back to court and we sue, right, to get out of that contract.
That's deep. That is deep. Right. I'm asking that because people are saying in the comments, well, they're saying that she cheated first or he cheated first, and I'm wondering how does the court?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So if she cheated first and he didn't do anything about it, then it's a non-issue, right? It's a non-issue.
Okay, hold on.
You've reestablished your relationship, and so in terms of that relationship, you've moved past that, right? Mm-hmm. And so if now the other spouse is cheating in retaliation, right? You could sue now and let them counter sue and say, "Oh, I cheated because you cheated." All right, well, let's have that out in court.
So let me. Oh, I don't know. I must have put it on mute. Okay.
Co-residing marriage.
Okay, so. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
okay.
Fani Willis attempted to hire Roy Barnes, who was the former governor of Georgia, as well as Gabe Banks, who was the head of the gang prosecution unit prior to him going to, prior to him becoming a private practice. So she did seek out two high-profile people that they both declined. They both declined because of safety reasons. Essentially, they would, this would took them away from their practices. So neither one wanted to accept the role. So she did try to reach out to some high profile people, but the problem she's going to have is the guy that's on your team that's much more seasoned than special prosecutor. He should have. Why is he making it less? He's getting $150 an hour. At first, he started out with $100 an hour. Then they bumped it up to $150 an hour. So he's getting $150. So he has.
Who was that?
That's the special. It's three special prosecutors. So this is a Floyd. Floyd is the other special prosecutor who has. He was the architect of the RICO state crime, like helping put the right in the law. But he's getting less. So I don't know how she's going to get past. These are the questions that the governor's looking at. This is. I don't know how
So what's the experience of Mr. Wade? Like, what's his trial experience?
no
What's his
felony.
RICO trial
Like
experience?
there's
Not,
much.
What's his federal trial experience?
no federal, no
Have any
RICO,
more?
What's his state trial
mun-
experience?
municipal court. He's municipal judge for a period of time, but clearly
That's
he
crazy.
doesn't have. Yeah, he doesn't
No
have.
experience being as a special
No
prosecutor.
prior experience. Was he ever a prosecutor?
I believe he was.
He was a prosecutor.
He was a prosecutor. Okay,
Right.
so he's got some trial experience from being a prosecutor.
Right.
I'm assuming.
Right.
And
the only one that made the allegation about the wife cheating was Fani through her filing. But how would she know that?
And Crystal, you brought this up, right? In terms of the responses. Why is that your response?
That blew my mind.
Why do you care that she cheated? Like, why is that?
It is early in the morning. Like, are you kidding me?
That's craziness. That's crazy that's your response. And your motion to quash.
That's a woman that is not thinking with her legal mind. That is a lover's quarrel. That is, I am on his side and I'm angry at her because
let me throw these darts.
That is not at all, has nothing to do with this case at all.
I mean, who would have known? Like, the allegation was that she cheated on her husband with his friend. But the court records are sealed. So who would have told that information?
Well, see, she's responding, ironically, much like Tasha K, to the court of public opinion.
Right.
She's trying to defend herself against sleeping with a married man.
Right. When she has no comment.
And
allegedly.
So,
right. That's a backdoor way to make a comment when you have no comment.
That is allegedly, of course.
Right.
But that is the thing that she's defending herself. So by pointing out that the wife has done something, it would seem to balance out. Okay, well, it makes sense that he would have moved on with another but that has nothing to do with him being placed in a position in this case and them being able to vacation to get, like, that has nothing to do with this. So I wish that she would have taken counsel to respond to the allegations of her putting her alleged lover as her special prosecutor and keep life out.
Stay on topic. Right. Yeah. I wish she would have had the discipline to say, I'm attracted to this man. I like this man. I want to go out with this man. I might even want to do some other things with this man, but I got to wait until this case is over. I wish she would have had the discipline to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would give her grace on that. If she didn't have the discipline, what I wish she would have done, because I feel like there are people that don't have the discipline, people in much higher levels. The discipline is not something that adults practice when it comes to the state of love and passion and lust. But what we could have done is say, you know what, it is inappropriate for this to ever get out. So there cannot be a paper trail of this.
See, and that's come on. This is 2024. It's seldom things get done in the dark. Everything is recorded. There's a paper trail. Somebody gonna see you. They're gonna know. Like there's a whole You know what I mean? That's just my problem. Is as a Black woman in a position of power, we don't have that luxury.
I agree.
We don't have the luxury to move in hopeful secret. You know what I mean? In hopes that someone doesn't find out that we're operating, fast and loose. That's not, we don't have that benefit. We don't have it because there are so few of us.
There are so
that few. When one of us is embroiled and entangled in something like this, that very broad brush gets pulled out and swept across all of us.
Come on, Akeisha. Come on, girl. You're speaking the truth.
It's not enough of us. And listen, I say this all the time. There's only 2% of the lawyers in the United States are Black women. 2%. Wow. Now let me give you another statistic. Less than 1% of all the lawyers, not just Black lawyers, all the lawyers are trial lawyers.
Wow.
Less than 1%. So that is maybe a percentage of that 1% that look like me, that might find themselves at the head of the DA's office in Georgia, in Fulton County. You fucking it up, Fanny, for the ones that's coming behind you.
That's true.
You fucking it up.
Allegedly.
No, ain't no alleged, because perception is reality.
Hey, Crystal, listen. I'm gonna bump into her next week, and man, what's up? What's up with that lawyer on your
because perception is reality. Perception is reality. Perception is reality, and the people that are perceiving this have positions of power.
Right.
And when they have to decide whether or not to put another Black woman in a position of power, and this shit is in the back of their mind, they might choose not to. They might choose not to.
And it's not fair that we have to operate under that system. We shouldn't have to be better. We shouldn't have to be, twice as good. But the reality is that life is fair. And I think there's been an opportunity that's been missed to really be a part of changing history for the better. I don't think that this means that her accolades we have to acknowledge that this woman has overcome a lot to get to that point. And we also have to acknowledge that men have consistently fallen. Their careers have taken dives because of this same thing. I think women are judged harsher and more harshly because of the fact that so few of us are in that position, especially women of color. But if this was a man, I wonder how the public perception would be so different. Even the way that it would have been handled by the court, and if this was a man with the female special prosecutor. I think the fact that it's a woman in power, and as it she dares to also have a libido, allegedly.
Well, wait, Crystal, we don't have to go so far. The journalist in New York, the reporter in New York that had the relationship with the Holmes, TJ Holmes.
Oh, yeah. That's not quite the same, though, Dennis. They weren't on the cusp of taking the former president of the United States to court like that. They were reporting, the news together, and it was they still were let go.
There was consequences.
There were. It was.
I mean, harsh consequences that I don't think either of them expected.
No, they thought they were going to be, Morning Joe, like Joe and what's her name? Morning Joe.
The Morning Joe show.
Scarborough.
Well,
what's the wife name? He married the chick.
Come
on, we're going to the comments. Let me go to the comments.
Listen, they're in New York. Come on, Ike. They're in your town.
They're in New York, but everybody knows who they are. I'm gonna let Mika. Thank you, Vera. Oh my God. Yes, Joe and Mika. I know they out there. Listen.
Thank you, Vera. Thank you.
People are bringing up Osby in Baltimore as another female attorney.
Yes, who was recently. I brought her up the last time we spoke as well. Carolyn Mosby.
Mosby. Yeah.
She was found guilty for the PPP.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I just thought about something. They have alluded. Crystal, hold on a second. They alluded that Fani might have, and this is all. You have people making all kind of speculations that this could fall under federal because of funding that the office received for to fund the district attorney's office. So if Trump gets elected, assume he gets elected, he controls the Justice Department, and this still would fall in the window of him wanting to come after her. This will fall in the window of if he gets elected. If he gets elected at the end of the year, he can come after her because he controls the Justice Department.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true. Very true. And he probably will. He'll probably come after her, Letitia James.
Oh my goodness!
All their T's crossed. All that
I think she probably should recuse herself at this point.
I know. I think she should recuse herself, even if that wasn't the case with Trump. At this point, it just looks bad for the office. It's the best thing for her to do. I did not expect, especially on the Martin Luther King holiday, I did not expect her to get up in the church and basically accuse the court of making this a racial issue. I thought that I was shocked. I was just shocked that that would be the way she would go out. And I told Dennis, to me, it's like this, and you guys can both let me know what you think. If we use the race card when we're at every turn, then it takes away the validity of it when it's real, right? And so for her to get up and say, well, they just don't want to think that a Black man could actually be capable and could be qualified. That is not what this is about.
No.
And I thought that was really irresponsible on her part. And it also just showed an arrogance to double down in not wanting to acknowledge that she's, this is just, the perception of this is really horrible for herself and for this case. So what do you think about that, Dennis? Because I just could not believe that when she had an opportunity to speak, that's
what she said, right?
Yeah, I don't see why it would be racist because someone's question. You have a Black wife who was married to a Black who's married to a Black special prosecutor who is contracted by the district attorney, but someone questioning whether or not everything was, even in the motion, nothing gave me the impression that this was racially motivated.
No.
The white guy sitting alongside the Black guy would probably say, yeah, it's racially motivated because I'm getting underpaid and he's getting paid more.
Right.
That's only, I mean, if we're gonna be honest,
say it was reverse racism, right?
Reverse racism. So I just couldn't see the correlation there in saying it's racist, other than her being the Black prosecutor who won the vote by not just Blacks but whites as well, voted for her. So she didn't just get elected by Blacks.
So I just on the race baiting, I think she's playing on the emotions, right, of the people that she's in front of. And I think it's intellectually dishonest. That's what I think that is. When you know something and you're selling something and you know what you're selling is dishonest because it's a distraction, because you want them to look somewhere else other than at you. That's intellectually dishonest. I don't like it. I don't like that.
And I feel like it adds insult to injury when you're in a Black church and you're playing on the emotions.
Yes.
And you know that those are triggers. Those words.
You can't do that shit. Where else you gonna do it?
Yeah, that's
you can't
true.
play that.
That's true.
You can't play that card nowhere else. Right? So you used our people.
It's insulting. It's insulting.
Absolutely insulting. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I think Monday's going to be very interesting. I want to talk about this latest motion was filed on Friday by the prosecutor in the YSL case. They're requesting that no cameras being shown. Ike, listen to this. They don't want cameras in the courtroom. They just want audio. And their argument is that they're police officers that will be taking a stand, and they may be getting doxxed. But why the case is this far along and now you don't want cameras in? I don't buy the fact that they think that the officers that are taking the stands, life's in danger. They haven't presented any proof that anyone's been threatened other than maybe someone got doxxed. That's happening. This is 2024. People are getting doxxed on the internet all the time, but they want to shut the cameras off. And we are going to be.
So what is the motion alleging? Is it alleging the potential for harm, or
absolutely
the actual? They're not citing any instances of actual threats.
No, they haven't cited any incidents of actual threats other than one of the cops were doxxed. So what?
Okay, wait. So that's an incident of an actual.
Hold on.
Other than
hold on. But a cop was doxxed. I've covered cases with
a cop or someone connected to the trial in the court.
Someone connected to a trial in the court. Okay, so it's doxing. They can investigate this.
You can't.
We're talking
overlook it and make it seem like it's not an issue without us first getting all of the facts and the details, right? So someone in the court, was it a court officer?
Was one of the witnesses. One of the witnesses.
So there is a real, listen, I'm a former prosecutor, right? So I got to put on this hat, right? Because making sure your witnesses are safe is
ideal, right?
That's paramount to your case. And so if you have a credible threat to a witness, then the potential for there to be other credible threats to other witnesses is very real. And so to minimize that, it might be required. There is always happy medium. Maybe they can testify behind the scrim, right? A little screen or something. There's ways that you can do this.
Well, what we do is we don't put the camera on them. We don't put the camera on them. We've done that. You saw it in the trial.
Yes.
So
okay,
why
now? Why is that not a compromise? Why is that not a sufficient compromise?
And for our for the media, it's definitely a compromise, because when we don't put a camera on someone, we are protecting one, but we also are that we may be shielding them from others that may know them of them doing dirt. Like Mark
does
Furman.
the motion say anything about why that's not a sufficient compromise anymore? What had been done in the past? Why that no longer would suffice to keep the officer safe?
No, the motion is weak. The motion is weak. I don't have it in front of me, but the motion, based on the argument that was made in the motion, it doesn't support if there's no actual threats. Because someone says something in the comments.
You said there was a threat, so I'm not going to let you say there's no actual threat.
Ike, hold on a second. Ike, hold on a second. In the comment section, people make comments in the comment section on law and crime, for example, that says some weird stuff, and they're talking, but they can trace comments. People don't understand. You can trace a comment. So if they thought it was a credible threat, you have IP addresses. Go investigate.
But you said a witness was doxxed.
Well, a witness was doxxed, but they doxxed the wrong person. It wasn't the officer. If someone had a similar name.
You see how the facts keep changing?
I don't have the motion in front of me.
Okay, well, let's not speak about this, since we can't speak about it intelligently.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Who hit that button?
The new producer, because you know
what I'm not going to do is talk out my ass. So since we don't have all the facts.
Well, Ike, let me say this. Oh, hold on. No, I want you to stay right there. So I'm gonna be able to say what I want to say. She ain't gonna say nothing right now. She can talk all she wants. I'm putting her on silence right now. So basically, Ike, I'm not gonna do that to you, Ike. Ike, can you hear me? Ike, can you hear me? You can't hear me, Ike? Unmute yourself, Ike.
Not unmute yourself.
Right.
But Ike, listen, we're gonna fight this. The judge has already signed a bunch of orders allowing cameras in the courtroom. He's even modified my order, the order that he signed previously. He modified it. I'm like, wait a minute, I've never had my Rule 22 modified. He doesn't want to hear clicking sounds. I'm like, wait a minute, sir, that's what cameras for.
No clicking sound. You don't have a silent? Could you put your camera on silent?
Right. Yeah. Well, mine is on silent. I don't. It's the self. I have the selfie lady in the courtroom. She be making noise with her camera. I don't do. I have a silent.
Gum chewing. No breathing hard.
Right.
Oh
you see. God. Right. Get out the courtroom. Get it. Throw the gum out and then get out the courtroom. Which one do you want me to do? It's like put your hands up. Put your hands down. Wait, Judge. Which one you want? You want to leave the courtroom? Or you want to take the gum out of the mouth?
Stop resisting, Dennis. Stop
resisting. The cameras might be off. Depending on how Judge Glanville rules, it might be off, and that's going to be a problem because
when has he not given the prosecution everything they've asked for?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking. Is there a real basis? Because if there's a shred of a basis in there, they're going to get what they're asking for.
I don't think people will be too happy about that, but that's another.
Let's see. He doesn't seem to really care about what people think and feel.
Hold on a second. All right, guys. I was just reading the comments. I saw that comment. I'm not going to read that comment out loud. Crystal, so do you have any plans on coming to the hearing on Monday?
I do not. I have something else to do on Monday. But I'll be checking in with you. And I see you just totally ignored my opinion question I brought up to you earlier today?
I don't recall.
You do with the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl? No,
I'm still boycotting the NFL, so I don't know.
I don't remember that. I honestly don't remember that.
I'm standing on business. I don't know what the rest of y'all doing.
Have you been doing it the entire time?
The entire time.
I respect it.
I'm standing with Cap. I'm not playing. Trust me. And I was the worst. When I say football,
I believe
it was bad. I was in several pools. I was in, oh my God, I was in the Pick the Pros pool. I was in, and you had to know the spreads. Don't call me on Sunday after 1. I'm watching the 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, the 8 o'clock game. Thursday. Don't talk to me. Like it was. So when I got off football, I was like, what to do? What I'm gonna do?
I don't think Cap is even interested in being part of the league anymore.
He's not. He's moved on.
He shouldn't.
Moved on.
I'm sure.
Shouldn't. That's like, if you want to go back to the plantation, they want you back, son. It's like, no, I done been free.
Once Jay-Z put that whole roster together, performing at the Super Bowl, the Cap just knew it was just it's like pushing a bolt up a hill. Now Jay-Z done signed on. So
when Jay-Z put that cosign, took the culture went with him for the most part.
No, not me. I love me some Jay-Z, but I wasn't going with that one. I saw what that was all about. And then they always trot out. They always trot out a figurehead.
They do.
That we like or we love. Right. Always. It never fails. Even it's always someone
follow.
Somebody we're familiar with, we're comfortable with, even if we don't know them. They trot them out in front of us to pacify us. Nope, not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, then I was talking to this earlier. Scripps called me to do a segment this morning on Usher's Vogue cover. So Usher did a Vogue cover, and the cover you have to you can't see where Usher is.
I saw it. It's you got a cover? You got it, Dennis?
I don't have the cover.
Oh, yeah.
Send me the cover.
I'll send it to you. And I think that my thing is, as a publicist, I know how working with media like Vogue, there's always an issue, whether it's lightening Kamala Harris's skin, which is, or even when LeBron James was on the cover of Vogue in 2008, the first Black man, he had to be on there with Giselle.
Hold on, Crystal. Hold on 1 second, Crystal. Mm-hmm. Listen, I need you guys to hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Come on, hit that button right there. Go ahead. I'm watching here. We got over 1,000 people in here. I need you guys to hit that like and subscribe right now.
Dennis, you want me to text this to you?
Yeah, text it to me. Yep. Send that through the wire. I hadn't even seen the cover yet.
No, you need to see the cover, and then you'll understand why there's outrage.
I'm just responding to a comment. Apparently, Suge Knight has a podcast from prison. I heard that too.
Yeah, Dave Mays is coordinating that. That's Dave Mays' show.
Oh God.
No, she was not that light. I saw someone said she's biracial, so she's likely that light. She wasn't that light. They actually lightened her skin, and they've done that with several African. Well, she's several people of color. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, at some point, we as people of color have to say, you know what, we don't. It's fine. We don't need it because it has to constantly. If they can't put Usher, who has been one of the biggest crossover artists, I mean, he's a one-word moniker. He's been that way since he was introduced. He has 30 Vegas show is sold out. There's no reason that Usher could not have been on the cover. I read the entire article. The article references his fashion choice. What is that?
What is that? Why are they there? Why are those kids there? Who's this girl?
Supermodel Carolyn Murphy, who was popular in the 90s. What is that?
What's the point? Is it? I don't understand any of it.
It says Usher, and then you have to search for where Usher is.
Right.
Right. I'm looking for which are these little Ushers?
This is offensive. But what now here's the bigger question. Why did he go for that?
Well, I will say this. So they did a spread. And a lot of times when a client when talent does cover, you don't get final say. on the actual final cover, right? Even someone like Usher may not get final say on the cover. So he may not see it until we see it. But, well, he probably his team sees it prior, but it's not really up to him. Once you agree to do that, then they have the right to use those images however they see fit.
Wow.
They played Usher on this one.
They played him. They absolutely did. And he, I mean, as long as he's been in the business, I would imagine he should know that you should negotiate a contract that's going to allow you to have some kind of say in that final image, especially if this type of fuckery is going to, is going to be the end result.
I feel like at that point,
that's crazy.
If Vogue doesn't want people of color, doesn't feel like men of color can hold a cover, then they shouldn't extend the invitation.
Right.
Just keep the invitation. And that's also why our talent has to start appreciating Black media. There's twofold issue. Like, we chase the white media, and then when they spit in our face, then Dennis, I was distracted by that comment.
Right. But I kind of agree. Right. But I low-key agree.
I don't know how that got there. I don't know. Crystal,
same way.
What are you doing over there, Crystal?
No, but I think that's ridiculous. And I think in 2023 for Vogue to be able to do that and not to issue an apology, it's insulting to Usher. But it's insulting to the culture. And I think at some point we have to stand up as people and say, you know what, we are not going, you're not going to lighten us. And we're just going to go and make sure that we, because there's a lot of Black media that wouldn't be able to get Usher to just do a cover.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just had to, as a publicist, that just irritated me. And even as a media personality for magazines that we know Usher's publicists wouldn't even call back if we wanted to cover him, and then go to Vogue and they put him on the side.
Right. Do you like this?
A junior football and a supermodel from the 90s that said she's a big fan.
His head is almost indistinguishable from the football. Just throw that out there. It's like, is that Usher or is that a pigskin? Bad.
I gotta look at this picture again. This picture, wait a minute.
It's a hot mess.
Usher, listen, I just want to look at it carefully. Maybe I missed something. Or maybe everyone else missed it.
You may have missed him. I also want to make sure that everybody knows that Usher has 3 boys.
So are any of them in that picture?
And none of them are in that. This is a random junior.
Look, what I say about his head, the football in his head. Which way do we go? Yeah.
And
they had to place that football there on purpose.
Right.
What? I did not see that. I now see that. It's almost like
they know what they were doing. They know what they were doing.
They know what they were doing.
And then this random white supermodel is there just to make it go down a bit easier for Vogue's white audience.
Wow. That's just crazy. Well, Usher, we definitely wouldn't endorse this, and we don't.
We have to, but him and his team have to stop being content with being in these spaces.
I agree.
And them just saying, "Well, this is how we allow you to show up."
We have to stop taking what they give us.
Right, the scraps. The scraps. That's our legacy. We make great things with the scraps, but goddamn, I'm tired of the scraps.
Try to diminish them on that cover. That's just.
They didn't try. They did.
They did. Well, we know that.
They reduced him to a football head.
There is only one picture, and that's a digital cover. That is not even a print cover. It is a digital cover, and there is only one picture of him by himself, and every other picture in that spread, he is accompanied by Carolyn Murphy. And it really is to make it go down easier,
make it palatable.
Make it palatable for their audience, which is 60% white women. But if they know anything,
they could put him on there by themselves and stop acting like, okay, let me
exactly
not say nothing else about that.
Women yes,
right. That part, right? Thank you, Crystal. Right.
I thought that cover was I thought that was a spoof or something. I didn't believe that's a real
No,
cover.
no, that's why I was so angry.
Listen, I
was
saw
like,
it. I was like, that is a hot mess.
Oh, you saw it before today?
Yes, I did. I saw it on the
trending,
internet.
Dennis. It's been trending, and it's unfortunate that his team hasn't said anything.
Right. Well, because they're
Oh,
responsible for it. So
No, but
Yeah.
they should have
that
said
level of accountability.
no. But even Kamala Harris' team came out and said that they did not approve her skin
Okay.
being lightened, and there's other black. Beyonce has done that before as well.
Okay.
His team has been radio silent,
Mm.
and it is actually worse than if his
Someone
skin
asked-
is lightened because he is hidden. They took a
Right.
candid photo that should have been used to promote the issue and put it as a cover.
I
What?
agree.
Okay, so is Vogue?
And Balenciaga affiliated.
I
I
don't
couldn't
know.
answer that. I have no idea.
I guess the question was: is she wearing Balenciaga?
Possibly. I'm not sure. I had everything out earlier, but I'm not sure what she's wearing. But unbelievable.
Okay. Do you guys want to you want to give? I don't think we need to, but if you want to take some questions, you want to bring a guest up.
Sure.
Okay.
We got time.
Okay, so listen up. If you want to
like
join,
women.
if you want to join the live, I'm gonna drop the link. If you have any questions for myself, Crystal, or attorney Shabazz, this is your opportunity to come up on the stage. Make sure you got good lighting. I think we can just let them come up with sound too. If you want to come up, you can come up with sound as well. I'll drop the link. And make sure you have your clothes on. This is not that type of show. That's the
I'm not that type of show.
Is that happening?
that's-
Is that
Right.
happening on the show, Dennis?
we do that show after 12, Crystal. I'm sorry.
I'm not on that show.
I'm not on that show either.
No.
Dennis keeping those links to himself.
Sneaky links, right? All right, the link is right there. The link is right there. If you want to get on, click on that link right there. Come on up. Not everyone at the same time now. The link is there. Get in line. Come on up. Let's talk about one of these stories that we've been covering. If you want to get up, this is your time. Don't come up together now. Hold on a second. Come on, Susie Jones. I know you want to come up. I know we have Pam. Where's Pamela? Where's Pamela at? Come on, Pam. You up here? All right, guys. We're gonna give you a few minutes to come up. We're gonna take a 2-minute break, and you guys can come up while we're taking this 2-minute break. Hold on. I'll play this real quick here.
Oh, are you gonna do one of your clients' records?
Chris, what did you say?
You see too much when you see your mama cry. Every tear that fell caught a homicide. And it ain't too many angels in the place that I'm from. But they'll put a halo on anybody, Lord. Not too many I can say that got me, Lord. Even when I go astray, I'm still your son. Even on the cloudy
See, I came from the bottom where niggas don't make it out it. Why I seen niggas fall like cold leaves in the autumn. When you gotta go to prison before you see a shahada. Seen Route 64 with bows in the Armada. Always been one step away my whole life. Been some long nights, just roll the dice. I'm betting on myself just to reach these heights. Is generational wealth. Success from hands that was dealt. And freedom from mental health. Just another notch on the belt, cause I came from it. I'm talking dirty trap with 100 packs, I was made from it. I'm talking streets that kill you dead, go get a trade or something. Seen a lot of lives lost to this game for nothing. Mama said I'm from the gang, but you ain't claiming nothing. Go to school, go read a book, go play the game or something. But shit, your focus.
Shout out to Southside Yoko. We have a very special guest joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, Susie. Get your camera right, Susie. Get your camera right, Susie. I see you there. Get your camera right, Susie. It's moving around, Susie. I see. Get it steady now. Come on, I'm gonna bring you up, but your camera moving around. Come on, here we go. I see you, Susie.
All right, good night. I'll be down.
Susie, what's going on? Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm doing good,
I just
Susie.
I just want to say I applaud you and everything that you do, all your pop-up videos, your information that you give us. And I just want to say I'm very impressed, and I try to tap in as much as I possibly can. And thank you, ladies, for joining him.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you,
Susie.
Susie.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that, Susie. Susie, what do you think about the Tasha K. Cardi B story? Because I know you've been following that as well.
I just want it to be over, and I want Cardi to get her justice any way she can. It's just ridiculous the links that she has to go through, the time that she has to spend on it, the money that she has to spend on it, and the fact that Tasha thinks she's smarter than everybody. So if we can get this to a closure so Cardi can continue and be right because it was wrong what was done to her, I would appreciate it. That's pretty much it. It's
Well,
sad
thank you,
that
Susie.
someone thinks they can get away with as much as she does and still pull the wool over everybody's eyes. It's just, I don't know what to say other than that.
Well, she thinks she's pulling the wool over people's eyes, but as you can see, things that she didn't want to be found was found.
Right. Right.
Susie,
And I'm
make sure
camera
you.
shy. That's why I'm doing
That's
like a
right.
half
That's right.
face. I want to-
I see the half face. I see the half face. I'm trying to look at that piece of art you got in the back, but we'll talk about that later. I like the art in the back. Thank you, Susie. I appreciate you.
Okay. Good.
All right, now listen. We got Freddie O in the building. Freddie O, listen, Freddie O, you come on up, Freddie O. I'm gonna drop the link, Freddie O. Don't act brand new, Freddie O.
Come on,
Those
Freddie.
who don't know,
I don't know.
Freddie was. Everyone knows Freddie O. Freddie O, get up on the click on that link, Freddie O. I see you in the bushes, Freddie O. Those who don't know, Freddie O is a very well known. I don't know what to say. So much I can say about Freddie O. He's
a celebrity.
He's a celebrity. He's a celebrity. I'll just say that he's a celebrity.
Celebrity.
He owes me $20, but we'll talk about that later. No, I'm joking.
Give me $20. Give me $20.
But listen, you could tap in, Fred, if you want to tap in. I know you might be at the Urban Honors Awards and you might be bored to death. I was coming out, but I decided not to because they were acting funny style, so I didn't show. Okay, he's more than a YouTuber. Freddie O is more than a YouTuber. Don't play him like that. He's more than a YouTuber. Not to say anything about YouTubing, but he's a celebrity photographer, influencer, part-time cook. You know, he doesn't really cook that well, but he, when he does, he tries to put it, Okay, Crystal's sister. Okay.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware, y'all. It is sweated out. It's okay. I told them yesterday that I was gonna wear my natural hair and I was gonna get clowned. And Freddie, by the way, is one of the people that clowns me when the hair is
Yeah, he clowns both of us. He's notorious for clowning us. You know that.
Not about your hair though, I'm assuming.
Huh?
Surely he's not talking to you about your hair.
What's wrong with my hair?
Nothing. I'm just saying your hair probably is not the reason that he clowns you.
Oh no. He has he does it. He has a whole list of stuff. Let me. As a matter of fact, let me block him right now.
He's stupid.
All right, listen, guys. I'm gonna give you one or two more minutes. You have any questions? This is your time to ask your questions. But get on camera. Click on the link if you can't spit and fire. You can come up spit and fire. I got your message spit and fire. By the way, I saw that message you sent me. The encrypted message on your channel with the tag. You tagged me in it. You know I was coming. Spit and fire.
I don't like that.
It's probably Spin Fire. Know what I'm talking about. Spin Fire. Click on the link. Do you think Spin Fire? Come on up here, Spin Fire. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. And I actually caught you live earlier, Spin Fire, and I thought it was pretty good.
God, I thought it was good.
All right. See, she here. Come on, Spin Fire. Spin Fire. What's going on?
What it do? What it do? How you doing, ladies?
How you doing?
You all right?
Hi.
Okay. I want to ask a question. Do you guys literally think that Tasha K really gonna go to jail?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
How much time you all think she's gonna get?
I think she's gonna get 30 months.
30 months.
That's 2.5 years, right?
Years, yeah.
Dennis, when you break the story, you know you gotta tag me in. You know you gotta share that exclusive now. You can't be hogging it out now.
You act like I'm following the story.
Man, you on Tasha K like 2 back pockets on jeans. You know that.
Oh my God.
You know you on that. All right. I just want to know because I missed that part when y'all was talking about it. And I was like, hey, I missed that because I just got my notification late. You know, YouTube be playing games.
Wait a minute. They shadow banning me? Is that what they doing?
No, she said notification late because you didn't post it probably until late. But I'm gonna tell you what I knew when we were on and listening to those court proceedings, and the IRS was there, and they were asking questions, and she was fumbling. I was like, "This ain't gonna end well."
And yeah, that lady, the latest post, the first motion, not the updated motion, the first motion detailed that she had reported to the IRS that she didn't have any trust. And so,
oh my goodness, because they was reading that. They said because in the latest thing they had the questions they was asking about the trust, and they asked those questions. You know how they put those questions in the updated stuff to say, hey, we asked about these questions when we were doing bankruptcy trial. Did you have any trust? They asked her. They asked her husband. They were both no. So both of them might end up going to jail.
So maybe I'm not an accountant. Maybe the IRS will give her some grace and tell her to file an amended return where the
IRS ever given grace if one were to lie.
They do. Yes, they do. They do. Because I think she has some late filings or some outstanding filings or something to that effect. And she owed them some things anyway. But that's not unheard of for you to amend your taxes and, okay. That's one way to try to get from underneath this, to amend and then include those trusts in those amended tax returns.
Okay, I got one more, and I'm gonna let this young lady have it.
Let me hold on one second, Spitfire. Vera, how are you tonight? Vera, you wiped your mouth. Now, can you hear us? Vera, turn. Oh, Vera,
you have her in the backstage, maybe?
No, she's right here. She's waving. I see.
Is her sound
on? Vera, your sound is not on. Check your mute. You're muted, Vera.
We could hear you.
Say it again. Vera, say it again. Vera, you're muted. Vera.
Yes.
Okay, we can hear you now. What was your
question?
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can. I can.
Vera.
Had a bad connection.
I wait for one time.
Let me fix your sound real quick. Vera, I'm gonna fix your sound right now. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna fix it right now. Okay, I had to get you up out of here. Get your sound right. Okay, go ahead.
Oh man. Oh, Vera.
Yeah, come up with your good sound now.
I wanted to ask. See, that's what you get for cutting me off. That's what you get for that.
Right.
I want to ask this. You see the apartment? Don't she live in a high rise somewhere? I seen the apartment that she live in. I'm thinking to myself, if she's supposed to be bankrupt, would it been the proper thing to do to go get this expensive luxury high rise?
Bankrupt doesn't mean homeless.
I mean, I know, but
you gotta live somewhere.
We want to live somewhere, but literally, an expensive luxury high rise, though. I mean, that is above middle class still. And you just sold your house or something from a golf course. So we're not talking average working class homes here. Like,
okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Tasha, this is not the smartest thing to do. I mean, you can get a nice home, but a high rise.
It might have been the smartest thing to do because sometimes in bankruptcy court, you do get homestead protection.
Okay.
Right. And so that might have been her thinking, let me put as much as I can into my primary home and see if I can get bankruptcy protection for that. This is all speculation. I'm just throwing out why that might have been, what strategy might have been behind that. But if the court sees that as some, some sort of divestiture of assets, which you should not be doing in bankruptcy proceedings, then they very well could force a sale of that property, right? So nothing is safe necessarily. They're going to look at how it came to be in your possession, when it came to be in your possession, what funds were used to acquire it, how you came about those funds. All of that is going to be, fodder for Cardi B's attorneys.
Toria, you have a question?
Yes. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
We're doing good. We're good.
Blessed and highly favored. My question is about the special prosecutor. If he would be taken off the case, that doesn't mean they can't get another one to proceed with the case.
Well, they would have to. That's correct. But they would also probably ask another jurisdiction to take over the case in Georgia. Maybe Cobb County pick it up.
They may.
Okay.
Or they may ask for a new. The point of having the special prosecutor is so that there is no conflict in the county.
Will that affect all the other cases that she has, like against the one she has against Trump and the rest of his flunkies?
It will affect all of the Trump cases.
Well, they're all under one indictment, so they're all under one indictment. So,
okay. What about the YSL case?
No.
Right, I'm waiting for an investigation into.
I know. I'm like,
be nice.
Accuse Miss Love.
First.
Okay. One more question. If their divorce was a sealed case, and the ex-wife spoke out and told all this information, can she be charged?
Not charged. She could be held in contempt of court, and the court could fine her or impose other sanctions as the court sees fit for violating the court's order by releasing documents or information that the court had instructed the parties not to release.
But we don't know if there was a gag order. We know the records were sealed, but we don't know if it's a gag order.
Right.
I seen that in the
if she violates. So if anything she releases in violation of that order, she could face some consequences in court. Sure.
Hey, Sharon, how are you tonight? Sharon, how you doing tonight?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. I have two questions, if that's okay. The first one is regarding Tasha K. That case. Is there any situation that you could think of where you're in that situation and they're asking you to declare, finances or whatever, where you don't have to, or if they ask you that, you have to?
What do you think the answer is to that? This is.
So my thing, the question is there ever a situation where you don't?
Can they
have to tell the truth? Yeah, I mean, because the rest of that is there ever a situation where you don't have to tell the full truth? That's what.
Well, not tell the truth, but so.
Right.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right. Let's think about that a little bit.
Wow. Okay. All right. So the next question is with Fani and this whole situation. I know that if I'm not mistaken, I think Trump is there any situation where they could request to throw this out or have some kind of mistrial based on this?
Well, this is the situation right now. The motion that they filed basically is asking for this case to be dismissed. They're saying that the entire integrity of the proceedings have been compromised, and so the indictment can't stand. So that's exactly what's happening. And the alternate, I think the alternate remedy is to replace the special prosecutor. But they would like this case to be dismissed, right? And then if the judge says, no, I'm not going to dismiss it, well, the fallback position is, well, then get rid of this guy because he's compromised. Get rid of her. She appointed him. They're both compromised. Does that make sense?
It do make sense, but which do you most likely think would happen?
I think that the court would have them replaced and removed.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't that be the
Based on
whole?
the-
Wouldn't that be the
appearance
entire
of
office?
impropriety. Yeah, the appearance of impropriety. Yeah, so replace them with a new special prosecutor.
Mm. Okay.
Wow.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate you coming on. Make sure you
Sharon.
Sharon. I'm sorry, Sharon.
Thanks a
Sharon,
lot, guys.
You
Thank you.
got
And
Susie
I
on
really
your
enjoy.
mind?
Yeah,
I really enjoy the panel. You guys are great.
Thanks for your question, Sharon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Vera, can you hear us? Vera, you got to talk up, Vera. Vera.
Maybe she has a delay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vera, I'm gonna
it
fix
doesn't
it.
seem like she can.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you. Yes.
Okay, you can hear me now. I heard Christy say, somebody say y'all can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
What's your
My
question?
point is, I saw something.
She has a delay.
Okay. I saw something that
Vera?
Go, Vera.
Go ahead, Vera.
okay, I saw something that they can dismiss the case and it can't be filed again with perjury or with prejudice. Yes, I heard that they could dismiss the case.
Well, this is not a civil case. You said
So
with
no,
prejudice.
no, she's right. No, her question is, your question is, can the judge dismiss this case with prejudice? Meaning they can't refile it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the judge could. The judge has the discretion to do that. I don't think a judge would.
Yes.
But a judge could. A judge could dismiss it without prejudice also.
Yes.
Right? And say, you know what, I am going to dismiss it. The integrity of these proceedings have been compromised, or at least appear to have been compromised. And the appearance of impropriety is worse than any actual impropriety. And I'm going to dismiss it with prejudice, with leave to allow a special prosecutor to represent it to the grand jury. Right? That could happen. That could happen. Usually it's only dismissed with prejudice if something is so egregious that has occurred and there is some evidence that the person who's being charged is actually innocent.
Yeah, but because Trump is...
Go ahead, Vera. Keep talking, Vera. Vera, we usually give 2 questions.
But because Trump is involved in this, the judge have so much discretion. Because Trump is involved in it, and the judge have so much discretion, I can't see them do it, dismissing it without
prejudice.
Okay, I don't think a judge is going to dismiss it with prejudice. I don't see that happening. Because if the judge was so hell bent and so pro Trump, they would have dismissed it already.
Yeah,
there've been many motions to dismiss it already. Right. So they've had plenty of opportunities. If they were, if this was strictly a political decision, they've had opportunities to grant those motions already.
No, they couldn't.
No, they couldn't. I'm not sure if that's a question or not. I think
Vera,
you have yeah.
Vera, you can also type your question.
Okay, thank you.
You can type your question in the comment section. Thank
you. Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Oh, that was difficult, but I got it. You got it. She got it.
Well, thank you, ladies, for answering my questions. And good night, Dennis. We're gonna have a late night party tonight.
I was about to get on.
I won't be there.
Dennis,
you ready for me to? I know what you're ready for.
Maria has a comment that says a government attorney has discussed this case today. There's no evidence to dismiss this case. I'm not sure what that means. If that means that there was a government attorney who was commenting and the comment was based on their opinion and review that they don't think that there's any evidence to dismiss the case. I'm not disagreeing with them. However, the appearance of impropriety, again, like I said, judges are supremely concerned with the public's confidence in our system, in our court system, in our judiciary. And so the appearance of impropriety is something that courts are concerned about. And we certainly don't want people to think that indictments can be had and that this is a political process that doesn't really have anything to do with any real crime. We don't want the public to think that that's how the judiciary, the court system operates, right? And so even if there isn't evidence that something was done untoward in the grand jury, the fact that there might be something compromised about the person who presented that evidence, that might be enough. I don't know. There's also this conversation that this particular presentation might have been done in joint coordination with the White House, which is something that, right? It's something that Fani Willis has said time and time again. There's been no coordination with the White House, blah, 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 because then that brings in a whole nother can of worms as to whether this really is a politically motivated case. Right? So there's so much more than just this one thing or that thing. It's the cumulative nature of all of these things and how that bears on the case.
And we saw that in the invoices that he spent time at the White House. For what reason did he need to spend time at the White House?
Right. So yeah, I mean, a lot of that is, we don't want to undermine public confidence in the systems we have. We need people to show up for these systems. We ask jurors to come in and give up of their time, to come away from their families, their work, their professions. We ask them to do that. We need them to be confident to do that. That's more important than anything.
Do you think it's interesting that the other defendants haven't joined in on this particular motion? Like Trump hasn't joined in, Giuliani hasn't joined in, Eastman hasn't joined in, Meadows haven't joined in the motion, and they all have the same information. Why do you think that none of them have joined in on this motion?
I think they're waiting to see.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for?
Wait and see approach, right? Because they're going to wait and see what the judge says, right? Why would I file my motion now, right? And then have it foreclosed because I joined this person? Why don't I wait and see what the judge says, right? And if that decision, if there's a window for me to file a different motion, that's when I file my motion. And I make sure my motion is different from the one that was denied. Right? So there's strategy in that. There's no need for them to join the motion. It's going to be decided without them. And then they can proceed based on how the court decides. Right now, it's a wait and see approach.
Interesting. Well, we're gonna in the next 24, I guess 48 hours, we're gonna be better informed than we are today. And I think I'm on pool all next week, and I suspect that there will be a series of hearings in Judge McAfee's courtroom, and I'm there for the whole week. So we'll see, and you guys will be able to. I will be tweeting from the courtroom, and and obviously the judge will be streaming from his. They stream from his courtroom, so whatever you don't see from me, you'll definitely see from the judge's cameras, and hopefully we can have cameras in our YSL trial. We don't know yet. I will have an attorney in the courtroom to argue our position for Hip Hop Inquirer, so we'll see what that looks like as well. Ladies, I thank you once again for joining the show and making it so fun and exciting, and you're both staying in line. I didn't have to get you right, I really appreciate that, especially you, Crystal. I know, and Ike, I didn't really have to hit you with the, maybe one time, but everything's good tonight. Everything's good. We all behaved ourselves.
Bring your facts. That's all I'm asking, man. That's all I'm asking. Crystal, it's always a pleasure to see you, beautiful.
Always a pleasure. I love your brilliant mind. I love being.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's great to have you as a part of these conversations, because I think the viewers get a chance to hear the facts and how the legal, because otherwise we're just out here making assumptions. And I think that's a huge piece of it that you do a great job of really breaking that down. And Dennis, that's great that you have the foresight to realize that you need to have a lawyer, who actually is,
a smart lawyer. There's lawyers and there's smart lawyers.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate it.
I was trying to put that. I was searching, but you're absolutely right. One that actually is really good at what she does, but also is able to put things into layman's terms so that the viewer can understand. And social media can consume it in a way that digests easier for them. So I'm always honored to be amongst intellects. So
thank you. Likewise, indeed.
All right, Dennis, I gotta get on there and spend some time with my husband. So you trying to get
I gotta get out here and she gotta get out. We all gotta get out here. Well, thank you, everyone. Love you. I really do. We out. I just wanted to get them up out of here. I'm still here, ladies and gentlemen. Got them out of here. I got them out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I appreciate everyone for being here tonight. Make sure you are hitting the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Thank you to my new subscribers. Make sure you are, if you're not a subscriber and you're watching this, turn on your notification. Make sure you are subscribing to the platform. As I said, we will be bringing you updates as it relates to the stories we've been talking about. Just make sure your notifications are very important. Very important. Those notifications are important because we may give you only 30 minutes, 10, 15 minutes notice before we go live. And you want to get it when we get it. So with that said, make sure you're following and just have a safe evening. If you plan on going out tonight, just be safe about it. And see you next time.